Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rafi Rizqi. I'm from Emap 9FK Unisula. In this moment, I will ident about the concert in full text. The first, there are 25 items in the concert from the title to the discussion. The first one is item number 1. It's divided to 1A to and 1B. The first 1A is in the title. The 1A is identification or as a randomized trial in the title. As you can see, there are randomized clinical trials, so it is a concert. And 1B is structured summary of trial design, method, result, and conclusion. Design, method, and conclusion is in the abstract. As you can see right here, there are design and the other like important objective, design, setting, and participants, intervention, main outcomes, result, conclusions, and relevance, and also trial registration. So this is the structured abstract. Next is item number 2. It's divided by 2 items, so it's a 2A and 2B. Let we see about that in the page number 2. So right here, 2A, it's about scientific background and explanation of rationale. First is the scientific background. Scientific background is about the coronavirus 2 and also hydroxychloroquine. And about the explanation of the rationale, it's about the lack of evidence of efficacy and safety led multiple groups, including the National Institute of Health and Infectious Disease Society of America, to recommend clinical trials to evaluate hydroxychloroquine as a potential treatment for patients with COVID-19. So the journal is about the evaluate hydroxychloroquine as a potential treatment for patients with COVID-19. And then 2B, it's about specific objective or hypothesis. So the hypothesis or specific objective is hydroxychloroquine. Does hydroxychloroquine improve clinical outcomes for adult hospitalized with COVID-19? That's it. Next is items number 3. It's divided by 2 items also, 3A and 3B. We can see in this page is 3B, so we should search 3A first. So as you can see, 3A it's not into this journal, so we skip to the 3B. 3A, it's about the description of trial design such as a parallel factorial including allocation ratio. Unfortunately, in this journal there are none of them, so we skip to the 3B. 3B, it's about important change to methods after trial commencement, such as eligibility criteria with reason. So the answer is early design to enroll hospitalization patients with suspect or confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection. So that is the first they wanted to do, but unfortunately, after testing capacity increased, eligibility criteria were narrowed to include only laboratory confirmed case. Next to items number 4, it's divided by 2 for A and for B. So for A, it's about eligibility criteria for participants. Right here we can see the 4A, it's a participant is adult age after 18 years who were hospitalized for less than 48 hours with laboratory confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection and symptoms of respiratory illness for less than 10 days were enrolled. And then to 4B, it's about settings and locations where the data were collected. So it's setting in hospital, the data collected in hospital, 34 hospital in the US. Next items number 5, it's only 1 items. It's about the interventions for each group with sufficient details to allow replication, including how and when they were actually administered. So right here in the blueprint number 5, it's about the first dose administered within 4 hours of randomization, patient assigned to the hydroxychloroquine group received 400 mg of hydroxychloroquine sulfate in pill form twice a day for the first 2 doses, and then 200 mg in pill form twice a day for the subsequent 8 doses, for a total of 10 doses over 5 days. And then the study personnel monitored daily for administration of medication with potential interaction with hydroxychloroquine and did not administer the trial drug if the participant received a concomitant medication with a high rate for interactions. Next to the items number 6, it's divided by 2 items, 6A and 6B. 6A, it's about completely defined pre-specific primary and secondary outcomes measure, including how and when they were assessed. So next page about 6A, the primary outcomes is about the clinical status 14 days after the randomization assessed with a 7-category ordinal scales. And 6B, it's about any changes to trial outcomes after the trial comment with reason. So 6B, unfortunately it's not in the journal also, so we just have a 6A and do not have any 6B. Skip to this 7. I'm sorry, I forgot about the secondary outcomes. I said in the primary outcomes is about 14 days blah blah blah, and the secondary outcomes is about score on the COVID outcome scales at 2, 7 and 28 days of the randomizations, all cost, all location mortally at 14 and 28 days after randomization. Next to the items number 7 is divided by 2, 7A and 7B. 7A is about how sample size was determined. So let we search 7 right here. 7A, it's about the sample size was determined, so less than 1% probability of the trial reaching the pre-specified threshold for efficacy, divided as 95% or more probability of an AOR more than 1.0 if it continued to a sample size of 510 participants. And then in 7B, it's when applicable, explanation of any interim, analyze and stopping guidelines. So unfortunately there is no 7B in this journal, so let we just skip to items number 8. Number 8, it's divided by 2 also. 8A and 8B. 8A, it's about method used to generate the random allocation sequence. It's patients, it's using a centralized electronic system. And then the 8B is type of randomizations, details of any restrictions such as blocking and block size. So the blocking size of 2 and 4. And then number 9, it's about mechanism used to implement the random allocation sequences as sequentially numbered containers, describing any steps taken to compile the sequence until interventions were assigned. So unfortunately also in this journal there are no 9. Skip to 10. It's unfortunately it's not any 10 also in this journal, but I'll read the 10. What is 10? Items number 10. So item number 10 is who generated the random allocation sequence, who enrolled participants, and who assigned participants to intervention, but there are not number 10 in this journal. Skip to number 11. It's divided by 2 items, 11A and 11B. 11A, it's about if done, who was blinded after assignment to interventions. For example, participants, care provider, and those assessing outcomes and how. So let we search 11. Right here there are 11, 11A and 11B. 11A is patient, treating clinicals, trial personnel, and outcomes assessors were blinded to group assignment. And then 11b, it's about if relevant description of the similarity of interventions. So 11b, it's about the study personal monitor daily for administration of medication with potential interaction with hydroxychloroquine and did not administer the trial drug if the participants receive a concomitant medication with a high risk for interactions. Next to number 12 divided by 2. 12a, statistical methods used to compare groups for primary and secondary outcomes. Let we see number 12a right here. So 12a is the primary outcomes with the multivariable proportional odds model with the following precipitation covariable, as you can see, age, sex, and the other. And then next to the secondary outcomes, it's about the using regression model including the same covariable as the primary model. Next to 12b, it's about methods for additional analyze such as a subgroup analyze and adjust analyze. Unfortunately, there are not 12b in here, so skip to number 13. 13, it's divided by 2, 13a, 13b. 13a is about for each group the number of participants who were randomly assigned receive intended treatment and were analyzed for the primary outcomes. So right here there are 13a that I point with a color red. So 1,889 patients were screened. And 13b, it's about for each group losses and exclusion after randomization together with reason. So it's a 1041 patients met eligibility criteria and 479 patients were randomized. Next to 14a, 14a is divided by 2, 14a and 14b. But unfortunately 14 is not in the journal until number 18, so maybe we just skip to number 19. Number 19, it's in the still in the result. Number 19, it's all important harms or unintended effect in each group. So number 19 right here, so the harm is about systematically collected safety events and adverse events. And then number 20, trial limitation addressing sorts of potential bias, implication, and if relevant multiplier of analysis. So number 20 is about limitation. So several limitation. There are seventh limitation, and you can see the journal. A lot of limitation. There are 7 limitation. Next to number 21, it's generalizability, external validity, applicability of the trial findings, but unfortunately they are not in the journal. Next to number 22, it's about interpretations consistent with result, balancing benefit and harms, and considering all the relevant evidence. So number 22, it's about hydroxychloroquine was not efficacious for the treatment of COVID-19 and blah 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 until it say the hydroxychloroquine is not beneficial for adult hospitalized with COVID-19. Next to number 23, but it's unfortunately not in the journal, same as number 24, so we just skip to number 25. It's source of funding and other support such as supply of drugs, role of funders. So number 25, it's in here, it's funding support, it's support by grants, blah blah blah. It's a lot of support and funding, so the journal is good. And I think that's it for the ident of the concert full text of this journal. I am Rafi Rizqi. From Emap 9 FK Unisula. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.